Assalamualaikum. In this video presentation, our group are going to share with Tan Sri Dr. LIN SWEE AUN about his early education, profession, political career, and so on. Started on July 28, 1962, LIN SWEE AUN swearing in as Minister of Malaysian Government at Kuala Lumpur, Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Tan Sri Dr. LIN SWEE AUN also became a Minister of Health, Minister of Housing and Local Government, and lastly as Minister of Commerce and Industry. After an all-around tour of the world with his wife, Tan Sri Dr. LIN SWEE AUN suffered a heart attack in 1977 and died in London, United Kingdom.
Tan Sri Dr. LIN SWEE AUN was a Malaysian Chinese politician from the Malaysian Chinese Association and the cabinet members. Swee Aun, commonly known as Ah Kor or Rabi Kor, is the oldest son of Lin Swee and Feng Chong-yan. He has 16 siblings, which are 7 biological siblings, 8 step-siblings, and 1 adopted brother. His mother is his father's second marriage, and he has 3 stepmothers. His father's first wife was named Feng Chong-moi. Chong-moi is his mother's elder sister. After a few years of their marriage, they are still not have been blessed with the children. So, they adopted a child of Indian descent because the baby had lost its parents. They named the baby using the Lim family names, and the baby name is Lin Swee Bin. Due to that, her mother's sister Chong-moi told her husband Tae-hui to marry one of his sisters. So Tae-hui eventually married his wife's younger sister, which is Lim Swee Aun's mother's. From their marriage, they have been blessed with 7 children, which are 4 boys and 3 girls. Then his father married his third stepmother named Wang Hee. From their marriage, Wang Hee and his father have been blessed with 5 children, which are 4 boys and 1 girl. Due to Swee Aun's mother's failure to invest, Wang Hee previously been cared by Swee Aun's mother. As a result of bankruptcy, his mother has to take care of Wang Hee while she was still young. After that, Chong-yan's younger sister named Feng Chong-yong came to Malaya and lived with them. Then his mother's younger sister also married with his father. They were blessed with 3 children, which are 2 boys and 1 girl. Swee Aun also stated that he called his first stepmother by the title Aku, his mother Amma, his third stepmother Assam, and his last stepmother was Ai. Swee Aun had met his wife Kwek En Lan while they were studying in medical college. They are married on 22nd August 1938 and have been blessed with 4 children, which are 2 boys and 2 girls. Tan Sri Dr. LIN SWEE AUN received his second education at the King Edward School, Taiping, and since 1930, LIN SWEE AUN has been involved and active in rugby. In the year of June 1932, which is at the age of 16, he has joined King Edward Medical College in Singapore, which later combined with Raffles College to create the University of Malaya. LIN SWEE AUN was a bright student during his study, and he also received a distinction in anatomy in the second professional examination. Because of his achievement, he was awarded with a scholarship, and during his final examination in 1938, he managed to get Lim Woon Keng Medal because his success to gain distinction in medicine and materia medica. So, not only focused in his study, but Swee Aun is also quite active in sports throughout his college years. He has competed in sports like football, hockey, and rugby, and this great guy was also the captain of Singapore's Blue Rugby team in 1935. Most interestingly, his team has won the trophy for Pan-Malayan Interstate Rugby match in 1935. However, after graduation, he has completed his housemanship at the General Hospital Singapore. In the year of 1939, he was sent on duty in leper colonies Sungai Lumpur and Hospital Ipoh before moving back to his hometown at Taiping, Perak in the year 1940. Besides, Swee An also not hold one profession, but he also the founder and a member of Perak branch of the Malaysian Chinese Association (MCA). After entering the politics world, Swee An also has held several positions such as Minister of Health in 1962, and at the same years, he has become Minister of Trade and Industry.
Chapter 3 Profession. As for Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun employment history, it not only involves his day-to-day work, but as he lived during the Japanese rulers in Singapore, he also did many other jobs during his involvement in the Singapore medical team. He did short stints in Singapore and Ipoh before returning to his hometown of Taiping after completing his studies. Lim Swee Aun was sent to the Sungai Buloh Leprosarium in 1939 before he moved to the Ipoh General Hospital and returned to his hometown located in Taiping, Perak in 1940. The war years. Then, in December 1941, when Lim Swee Aun was still at the young age of 26, war came and Taiping suffered its first bomb on 8 December. The main attack carried out by the Japanese army came from the north. So, without thinking long, Lim Swee Aun decided to move his whole family to the rambutan garden of Reverend Kwek Keng Hon, who is his father-in-law in Bukit Timah, so that they would be spared from the attack or the war. From known sources of information, it is believed that Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun was an elite supporter and assisted the volunteer team in the field of medicine and health. As he was a graduate of King Edward College of Medicine in Singapore, he was evacuated and stayed at Taiping Hospital, Perak, with a medical convoy in stage from the south as the enemy approached from the north. After convoying from the south, he finally arrived in Singapore and subsequently allied with the medical team there. This is to ease the burden of medical staff because Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun is considered as a great nurse. Japanese occupation from 1942 to 1945. During that time, Dr. Tan Chen Ling took Lim Swee Aun to work with him in Taiping. During the occupation period, medicine was secretly supplied to prisoner of war from Lim Swee Aun. Not only that, he and Dr. Chen Ling as well as Parsi Jalmanesa helped the Indian POW of the Motor Transport Unit No. 1 under the command of Subanar Nuruddin secretly. A total of $50,000 was donated by them to Dr. Talok Singh. This was aimed at buying medicines and food to Indian POW who were ill. Radio is also used by them to hear news about the enemy. The radio is disassembled and hidden each time after use. This is to keep them unnoticed. Those who do this are said to be part of one news circle. He even kept it a secret from his own wife. After the end of the war, a certificate of prize was given to Lim Swee Aun for his deeds. Malcolm MacDonald gave this award on the instruction of the British government. British Military Administration (BMA). On September 2, 1945, that is after the surrender of the white flag from Japan, Lim Swee Aun decided to resign from the job given by Dr. Tan Chen Ling. After that, he personally started training at 75 Cotterell Taiping, Perak. The money had to be collected himself by mortgaging the jewelry given by his mother and wife to buy a premise. Day and night he worked harder just to treat his patient and will also make house calls even if the country is in the state of emergency, which the communists were active in Malaya. When his patient could not afford the cost of treatment, he will treat them for free.
Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun, his political career began in 1953 when he joined the Perak branch of Malaysian Chinese Association (MCA) and was elected to the Perak State Executive as Legislation Council. Lim Swee Aun became famous through the ranks of MCA, serving as National Vice President and the Deputy National President. Lim campaigned for Chinese citizenship as member of MCA and encouraged Chinese citizenship to gain citizenship in Malaysia. After that, in 1959, Lim Swee Aun became a member of parliament when he won the Larut Selatan Sea. The boundaries of of the 1959 election was split in two, so 52 seats to be 104 across Malaya. Suddenly, many areas mostly Chinese, including the Lewat, Sitiawan and Berwas, when the Prime Minister of Malaysia Tunku Abdul Rahman as the Deputy Prime Minister was Tun Razak Hussein. This election was the first after independence on August 31 in 1957. The General Malayan election was quite cool because it was ranked starting from Perak to Kelantan. At that time, Sabah and Sarawak had not joined Malaysia. Parliamentary seat increased from 52 to 104 seats in 1959. The Federation will have 74 seats and the opposition will win 30 seats. Lim Swee Aun is an important person in the establishment of Malaysian Federation. He organized a delegation to Borneo to create an alliance party that would join the Federation alliance in Sarawak and Sabah. He is a member of Malay's delegation in 1963, which was led by Tun Razak and responsible with handling outstanding issues with Singapore and Brunei over their membership in the Federation. Malaysia Prime Minister announced a cabinet reshuffle on July 60 in 1962, which included Lim Swee Aun appointment as Minister of Transport. Lim Swee Aun was unexpectedly moved to the Ministry of Health in 2 days later. Lim Swee Aun was assigned to Minister of Commerce and Industry in other cabinet sweep in October 1962. As Minister of Commerce and Industry, Lim Swee Aun handling and fight for free industry and enterprise in Malaysia. He encouraged international investors to establish pioneering factories and industry in Malaysia while systematically protecting and promoting local manufacturing. In 1968, Lim Swee Aun opened the first vehicle assembly plant in Malaysia known as Swedish Motor Assemblage, Sendian Berhad. He also encouraged foreign investment in joint ventures but instead on a minimum on 51% Malaysia involvement. From Perlis in north to Johor in south, industrial zones were established all across the nation. Dr. Lim Swee Aun established the beginning of what would become the country's primary industry in 1963. Dr. Lim and his ministry had received several inquiries from international and local business regarding the potential of building up a car manufacturing facility in the Federation, while on his way to the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade that year. Lim Swee Aun revealed that the larger goal was to build a motor vehicle industry in Malaysia pace, starting with basic assemblies with local content and progressing to chassis manufacturer and eventually to a locally produced automobile. On 7 May, Proton Manufacturing Syarikat Automobile National Berhad was established, and on 9 July 1985, the Proton Saga, the first Malaysian-made vehicle, introduced. Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun was also part in the final round of Malaysian talk throughout his political career. Tun Abdul Razak, Tan Siew Sin, and Dr. Lim Swee Aun, led a Malaysian delegation to London on June 25 in 1963. According to the Sir Godfrey Tory, Mr. Tan and Dr. Lim's goals are to prevent Tun Razak from making an unnecessary compromise. On 5 July, an agreement was made on the main issue, and it was only then that Tunku left for London. In 1963, Lim Swee Aun was one of signatories of Malaysia Agreement.
In Chapter 5, I am going to talk about the involvement of Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun from economic and social aspect. From economic aspect, His Majesty the Sultan of Selangor officiated the opening of 5 million federal wheat mill in Port Swettenham on 20 January 1968. FFM Berhad was incorporated in 1962, but started operating as a wheat flour manufacturer in 1966. The group is also involved in the marketing and distribution of edible oil and fast-moving consumer goods, livestock, grain trade, and food processing. His Majesty the Sultan opening the nameplate of the mill while being observed by the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun, and Mr. Hockney, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Federal Wheat Mill. Next, the discussion between the Minister of Foreign Trade Belgium and Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry office. The Belgian trade delegation, led by the Belgian ambassador to Malaysia, Mr. Verstelman, has begun its discussion with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun was followed by ministry officials at the conference room of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in Kuala Lumpur on 27 April in 1967. Belgium has expressed its readiness to make a success of the first few Malaysian development plans. This assurance was given by the Belgian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Agus de Wanter, who also promised that any development need in Malaysia will be studied by the Belgians without delay. On 17 November 1939, the firm was founded. Phuong Kiok Rubber Manufacturing Sdn Bhd reported a 16% decline from the latest financial highlight. The total volume of Phuong Kiok Rubber Manufacturing Sdn Bhd increased by 57% during the same time. The Federal Minister of Commerce and Industry, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun, and his wife recently visited a rubber goods factory in Klang. Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun later said that he was happy that more natural rubber was being used by these factories, which also earned a large amount of foreign exchange by exporting their finished products such as rubber shoes, bicycles, tires, and chips. Minister of Commerce and Industry, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun, on 9 August 1963, spoke on the economic development of the Federation of Malaya in a speech to 29 military and civil service officials against the Kingdom Imperial Defence College, which was placed in the night. Also, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun, on the morning of 9 October 1965, had a press conference at the Public Investigation Room for the Tax Advisory Board in Kuala Lumpur, where he announced 3 important economic governance measures related to Malaysian governments. For social aspect, Minister of Commerce and Industry Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun on 18 December 1967 attended the closing ceremony of Malaysian International Tourism Campaign in 1967 at the auditorium of Majlis Amanah Rakyat Mara, Kuala Lumpur. Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun also gave prize to the winner of the poster and picture competition. Minister of Commerce and Industry Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun will announce the winner of the Tourism Publicity Poster Contest on 18 December 1967. The first place winner will receive a return flight ticket to Hong Kong, a tin, and a draw certificate signed by Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun. Minister of Commerce and Industry Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun officiated the opening of the Students' Press Seminar at the University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur on the evening of 20 February 1960. Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun also has opened an administration and management course for senior officials of the National Electricity Board at the Government Officer Training Hall in Kuala Lumpur on 11 March 1938. This weekly course was attended by more than 20 engineers and accountants.
Hi, my name is Putri Sufiatmaira and I'm going to present you Chapter 6, the delegation from abroad. Having held various positions in the Cabinet of Malaysia, Lim Swee Aun has been involved in various consultancy activities as well as visit both within the state and abroad. According to the historical timeline of political relations between Malaysia and other countries, the name Lim Swee Aun is no longer foreign. There is some negotiating evidence that can be obtained through online finding aids, such as Lim Swee Aun receiving visits from several representatives of other countries. For instance, an Indonesian ambassador to Malaysia, Brigadier General Abdul visited the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Lim Swee Aun, in the Federal Building, Kuala Lumpur. Other than that, a representative from Russia visited Lim Swee Aun in Kuala Lumpur, where Lim Swee Aun also received a visit from Russia when V.B. Spenderian went to visit him at the Office of Minister of Commerce and Industry, Kuala Lumpur. Other than that, Lin Swee AUN was also involved in several interloping activities in Singapore while the state was still in Malaysia. Based on the information obtained, there have been several occasions in which Lin Swee AUN has supervised. One of them was when he visited the scale model of Jurong Industrial Estate while holding the position of Minister of Commerce and Industry, together with the Minister of Finance, Dr. Goh Keng Swee. In addition, Lim Swee AUN was also with his wife, Mrs. Kwek England, paid a visit while being in there to Singapore Cement Manufacturing Ltd. Another occasion information that was kept as the evidence of Lim Swee AUN's involvement with the neighboring country Singapore was during his visit with the Minister of Finance, Dr. Goh Keng Swee, to the Ford factory, or also known as Old Ford Motor Factory located in Bukit Timah. Moving on to the next chapter, which is Chapter 7, the retirement. This chapter covered the life cycle of Tan Sri Lim Swee AUN's career and his involvement in the political work before he passed away. Tan Sri Lim Swee AUN, which was married to Puan Sri Kwek England, died at the age of 61. On 13 August 1977, Tan Sri, who was on a trip with his beloved while traveling around the world at that time, passed away due to a heart attack in London, leaving his family members, which consists of his wife, 2 daughters and 2 sons. He, who was known as a doctor and also a politician, lived his home in Taiping, Perak forever. This admirable man began his journey in the medical field. To be precise, Lim Swee AUN started his career by completing his housemanship in Singapore General Hospital. Only then, in the year of 1939, he was posted to another health institution at the Sungai Buloh Leprosarium before being transferred again to Ipoh General Hospital and then moved to Taiping, Perak in 1940. To conclude the retirement of Tan Sri Lim Swee AUN, he once had the position of Vice President of the Malaysia-Chinese Association from 1959 until the year of 1962, then held the position of the Minister of Health for only 3 months in 1962, before he was then appointed as the Malaysian Minister of Commerce and Industry for 7 years, from 1962 until 1969, as he left the cabinet after being defeated by Gerakan's Eng Ho Hun in the Larut Matang Parliamentary. Nevertheless, all of Tan Sri Lim Swee AUN's contribution to the country, be it in the medical field, education, economic, or political field, will always be remembered by the people of Malaysia. Before Tan Sri Lim Swee AUN died, he played the role as the leader in the Malaysian Chinese Association, or was also known as MCA. Specifically, he was the founder of the association in Taiping, Perak. Lim Swee AUN won the seat of Larut Matang's parliament in the year of 1962 and was appointed as the member of the parliament. Tan Sri was one of the most standard supporters of the party college, which was established in 1968. The college that was founded by the party was named Tunku Abdul Rahman College when it was first built. As today, the institution has been recognized with the new name of Tunku Abdul Rahman University College.
In Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee AUN's lifetime, he received many awards for the action that he took either for his own country or foreign country, and for solving problem and achievement. As we all know, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee AUN is a great and committed person in carrying out his duties. However, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee AUN also received an award from the British government, and the award is the Commendation Certificate given by the British government after the war in 1945. This award was given for all his effort and determination in sharing information about enemy via secret radio during the war. In addition, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee AUN was also awarded the Grand Cross of the Order of Leopold II in 1967. This award was given by the Belgian Embassy to Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee AUN in honor of the Belgian trade. Furthermore, Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee AUN also received several other awards in Malaysia, such as the Malaysian Commemorative Medal in 1965. The next award was Commander of the Order of the Defender of the Realm in 1968. This award is limited to 75 living recipients at any time, excluding foreign citizens who are conferred honorary award. The recipient of the award received the title Tan Sri, and the recipient wife take the title Puan Sri. Both of these awards were given to him on deck for his contribution to Malaysia. This award is also available in the form of medalization. All these awards received either locally or abroad, all achieved through their own effort without the help of others. Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun is an exemplary and highly respected person during his life and showing devotion for the country. These are among the rank awards that Tan Sri Dr. Lim Swee Aun has ever received during his lifetime, which is Commander of the Order of the Defender of the Realm and Malaysian Commemorative Reward. Malaysia's order, decoration and medal are part of a complicated system in which Malaysian and eligible foreigners are recognized by the nation sovereigns for act or deed that benefit their community or the country as a whole.
From completing this Finding AIDS project, all of our group members have learned and experienced using the Finding Essential Resources tools of the National Archive of Malaysia. Therefore, in this assignment, we managed to obtain as much information about Tan Sri Lim Swee Aun. Tan Sri Lim Swee Aun himself is an inspiring politician with his own unique story. With the materials provided in the online Finding AIDS, we have presented to you his life story concisely. In conclusion, this assignment has helped us enhance our skills in archival studies.